Well, it's finally done. The Republican Party has finally, at long last, released its plan, its commitment to America. And all I can say is this. It's certainly a commitment, all right. It's a commitment. But it's a commitment to bamboozle America and Americans. Look, I was waiting and waiting and waiting. I was like, maybe they have a plan to solve inflation. Because they're claiming they do. But I waited and I waited and I waited. And I heard nothing. No tangibles. No solutions to solve inflation. They said that they want every American to have freedom. This after you reverse a right that women have had for 50 years in this country. So I guess not freedom for women. They did give one thing that was tangible. They said that they're going to not hire the 87,000 IRS agents. Okay. So 87,000 jobs done away with. And then you had Congresswoman Green from Georgia. You know, the conspiracy theorist. She said that people are going to get fired. So it sounds like they do have a tangible plan. Fire Americans. That's part of their commitment to bamboozle Americans. And then they talked about immigration. Now, in my opinion, this is something that should have been done. You had the lunatic from Mar-a-Lago saying that Mexico was going to pay for the border wall. Correct. It never happened. Mexico never sent us one peso, not a penny, to construct the border wall. You had Steve Bannon fleece private American citizens with a supposed fund to build the border wall. And, well, those funds didn't go to building this border wall either. What you had constructed on the southern border was not a wall. And it wasn't completed. But the thing of it is, even as the parts that are completed, that the lunatic did do, people are still able to come into the country. And for the most part, they're apprehended. You know, what conservatives fail to tell the American citizenry is this. If 10 people try to get into the country, 7 of them are apprehended. 2 don't even make it, meaning they pass away along the way. And 1 slips by detection. So 1 out of 10 people who are crossing the border slips in unnoticed. The other 9 either get ascertained and detained, or they don't make it. Now, I was waiting to hear their solution on immigration. Because thus far, with all the money that Texas and Florida has to handle immigration, the Republican Party's brilliant solution to handle the situation wasn't to deport the migrants from Venezuela. It was to bus them to Martha's Vineyard. It was to bus them to Peoria, Illinois. So wait a minute. Here's the party telling the American people that they want to deport everyone who comes into the country illegally. Yet, when they had the money and the funds to do it, they sent them to Martha's Vineyard in Peoria. Now, it doesn't take a rocket science to know that Martha's Vineyard and Peoria are not El Salvador and Honduras. They're not really close by. So, how are they going to make a commitment to America on immigration when their brilliant idea is to send people to Martha's Vineyard and Peoria? They lost a lot of credibility on the immigration issue. Because if they wanted to look tough on immigration, they should have just deported the people who they gave temporary protective status to. Oh wait, that's right. It was 2 years ago that you had the lunatic from Mar-a-Lago saying that the people of Venezuela were great, they were patriots, and they wanted liberty and justice and freedom just like us. And they were being run by an evil dictator in Maduro. Now, 2 years later, those same people that the lunatic from Mar-a-Lago said wanted liberty and freedom and justice, now they're violent rapists and murderers and pedophiles. Make it make sense. He was the president that gave temporary protective status to the Venezuelans in this country. He did it because they were fleeing a bad situation, which was true. And now they're the most evil people on the planet. I don't know how that works out. But they showed us what their solution is. Martha's Vineyard and Peoria. Not deportations, as they claim, but that's what they're for. They had the money to do it. And instead, they sent them to Martha's Vineyard, Peoria, which are nice communities. And they treated them with hospitality. And they were welcoming of them on such short notice. Now, some things they left out, and they left out a lot of things in their commitment. They didn't mention their commitment to senior citizens. Such a shame. Ron Johnson, Senator of Wisconsin's commitment to Wisconsin senior citizens is that he doesn't think you should get Social Security benefits anymore. He's going to do away with it. Make it non-discretionary. Meaning he can bring it up each and every year. And, you know, that increase that's coming, well, if Ron Johnson gets his way, you won't see it. Because he wants to do away with Social Security. Interesting, they didn't mention anything about Ron Johnson a member of their own party's commitment to Americans. Then you have Lindsey Graham's commitment to America. It's a doozy too. All the women of America. Lindsey Graham's commitment to you is that he's going to be your personal OBGYN doctor. And basically what that means is he's going to set an arbitrary date of 15 weeks. Now, OBGYN Dr. Graham thinks that 15 weeks is just enough time for you women to make up your minds. If you haven't done it in 15 weeks, he's going to inform the county sheriffs, like South Carolina wanted to do. And then they're going to come knocking at your door and arrest you. So you have no more right to privacy as a woman under Lindsey Graham's commitment to America. Like I said, that's Lindsey. Tom Cotton in Arkansas might want 3 weeks. His commitment to American women might be 3 weeks. You never know. And then there's Marjorie Taylor Greene, the congresswoman in Georgia. She made a commitment that people are going to get fired when they take the House. Fired. A commitment to fire Americans. Look, I was just happy that their commitment didn't involve Hunter Biden's laptop, Hillary Clinton's emails, and Barack Obama's birth certificate. I was happy that they moved on past that. But then, hours after Kevin McCarthy gave his commitment to Bamboozle America, the lunatic from Mar-a-Lago, the loser in chief, was in North Carolina. And well, he was ranting and raving about Hunter Biden's laptop, Hillary Clinton's emails, and Barack Obama spying on him. You know, it was the same clown show. But he didn't mention anything about the commitment that the Republicans had made earlier in the day. So my question is, who's really running the show? Because it seems like the Republican Party is trying to bamboozle America. And all of us into believing that they're going to do something when they're going to do nothing. There was nothing in that plan, or nothing that the lunatic from Mar-a-Lago said that was going to help any American that I know. Nothing. There was no talk of housing insecurity. There was no talk of unions and making it easier for Americans to join unions in their employer. There was nothing. Absolutely nothing. And then you start looking at the people who are running in your individual districts. And you look at their characters and lack thereof. You have a Trump-endorsed candidate running for United States House in Ohio, District 9. And it was recently revealed that this individual, J.R. Majewski, he's a bold-faced liar. Bold-faced liar. On multiple occasions, this individual was asked, did you serve in Afghanistan? And on multiple occasions, he's given numerous stories about serving in Afghanistan. Even detailed stories as to what he did. He said he was in Afghanistan and he didn't shower for 40 days and 40 nights. It was really tough. He remembered being up at midnight playing video games with the guys in Afghanistan. And then he did the despicable and unthinkable. He lied on his own deceased grandmother. He said the hardest part for him when he was in Afghanistan was having his grandmother pass away. Now, his grandmother did pass away, but he wasn't in Afghanistan. Numerous news outlets have confirmed that J.R. Majewski was never in Afghanistan. In fact, he was in Qatar, loading airplanes with cargo. This is the Republican Party. They're trying to bamboozle all of us. They're bold-faced liars. You can't believe a thing that comes out of their mouth. How are you going to say you want to make the country safe when under your watch you orchestrated an attack on the nation's capital building? You talk about law and order. How can you have law and order when you have insurrectionists attacking the Capitol? Kevin McCarthy couldn't even keep his own place of employment safe from the lunatic from Mar-a-Lago. And now he wants to be entrusted with running the place. Liz Cheney. I never thought I would say that, but Cheney. The Cheneys have been Republicans forever. And Liz Cheney said this year that she doesn't even believe that the Republican Party should be in charge of leading the House nor the Senate. She said as the party is constituted currently, they're not worthy of leadership. Liz Cheney is a conservative Republican saying this. So if you're not even worthy of leading, based on someone who was a high-ranking member until very recently in your party, if that's what they're saying about you, I would say the rest of us would say you're trying to bamboozle us. You're trying to pretend like you have something for us when you really don't. They have no plan to lower gas, to lower food costs. In fact, if they got in, I would probably think that things would get worse. Because at least now things are getting done. Absolutely nothing is going to get done if they get a majority in either House or the Senate. Nothing. Their long-awaited commitment to America was a commitment to bamboozle America, because they mentioned nothing that was going to help us out. They left out all the commitments that their party members are making if they win, that are a bit too extreme, because if the American people knew them, they wouldn't go along with it. Like, if the majority of the American people knew if the Republicans win the House and the Senate that they're going to get rid of Social Security, nobody is going to go along with that. If the majority of the American people knew that they wanted a national ban on reproductive women's health, nobody in America would go along with that. So on the biggest issues, they were completely silent at their rollout today. And then they had the audacity, after labeling every immigrant in this country from South America as a rapist, murderer, pedophile. Then they had the audacity to roll out Hispanic outreach advertisements today. Wait a minute. Didn't your party just leave Venezuelan people seeking asylum on the sidewalks after feeding them a turkey sandwich and giving them a bottle of water in a 16-hour bus ride? Is that going to be in the brochure? You can't make this shit up. It's a commitment to bamboozle. I don't think it's going to work. But sadly, we do have a lot of people in our country that will buy this bullshit, no matter what. I saw the people tonight in Wilmington, North Carolina. There's a lot of people that are bamboozled, that are being swindled and taken advantage of. It's true. We have a big country and a lot of diverse opinions. It's sad that some people are being bamboozled, but I don't think the majority are. Their commitment was a commitment to bamboozle. Their candidates are like J.R. Majewski, bold-faced liars. I mean, go and look at what this individual said and did. He gave detailed stories about being somewhere and doing things that never existed and that he never did. And then today he held a bizarre news conference where now he's talking about the things that he did. He can't get a hold of his records because they're classified. Well, here's a thought, J.R. Majewski. Contact the lunatic from Mar-a-Lago and have him telepathically, just by thinking about it, declassify your military records. So you can prove that you were really in Afghanistan. Because everyone else that's looked at your military records that are available have discovered you were nowhere in Afghanistan. You never went to Afghanistan. So call up the lunatic and have him telepathically declassify it. Like the documents that were found in the tool shed by the pool at Mar-a-Lago. You gotta do our part and get out there and vote. This, I think, is the most dangerous and it's a dangerous party, the Republican Party, at this point. They're a danger to themselves, and they're a danger to the nation. And they're trying to bamboozle us. J.R. Majewski is trying to bamboozle the people of Ohio with this cockamamie story that he's telling. My documents are classified. No, what he did was stolen valor, and he should drop out. But this party, they have no integrity. They defend insurrectionists. They put bans on women. They support racist people. Really, some of the most despicable people in our society. They give voice and rise to. It's not something that the vast majority of us want to be associated with. And sadly, they try to do this in very difficult times where they know a lot of people are going through a lot of anxiety. So we have to be on guard and careful. This is where fascism creeps into the society during moments of hardship for the citizenry. You have demagogues and con artists try to bamboozle us into thinking that they're going to do something beneficial for us. In 2022, don't let the Republican Party bamboozle you. I most certainly won't.